Hi everyone. Our today's class is about perceptron as a pattern classifier. What it is? It is about perceptron as a pattern classifier. First of all, what is a perceptron here? Okay, perceptron in the sense it is a single neuron. Perceptron is a single neuron which performs some computations within it and it produces some kind of output. For some kind of output. This is called perceptron here. Okay, it is going to perform the computations based on the given inputs. Okay, here I have applied two inputs for this particular node. Okay, this first input input is x1 and assume this is x2. These are the two inputs, not only two inputs, you may apply multiple number of inputs. These two inputs, through these two inputs, I am going to give some values to this particular unit. This unit is going to perform some kind of computations. So this unit or this node is going to perform some kind of computations. Okay, so here which kind of computations it is going to perform in this particular node or unit? That computations is called the classifications. Starting of this unit, we have discussed about the perceptron. This perceptrons are used to perform some computations, okay, related to a classification techniques, isn't it? Okay, assume this is one perceptron here. Clear about a perceptron. And coming to a pattern classifiers. Coming to the what is a pattern and how we are going to classify those patterns here. Now, for example, here we are having some group of data. This is one data and this is some other data, right? And this is one more data. Okay, right. For example, these are the total data points you have. Okay, the total number of data points you have. So now you are going to classify these data points into groups. These data points are called the maybe. Okay, if you classify these data points into the groups, that each and every group is called a pattern here. How you are going to divide these data points into groups? Based on their features, isn't it? So here we are having in this, how many kinds of patterns are there? Three kinds of patterns. Okay, three kinds of designs or three kinds of data points are there. One is tick mark, second one is into mark, third one is star mark. Now you are going to divide these data points into groups. Okay, like this. For example, here you have 6 number of tick marks. This is one group. Second one is, okay, stars also 6 we have. This is another group. Third one is into only 5 intos are there. Right? Now, from these data points, I have identified 3 patterns here. Pattern 1, pattern 2, pattern 3. Okay, these total number of data points are grouped into, okay, or classified into 3 groups. These three patterns. Here we can be classified these three patterns into three groups. For example, okay, there is a new data point. There is a new data point is there here. Now, what you have to do at this time? You are going to identify this particular data point is belonging to which group. Is it belonging to this group or this group or this group? Right? Now you are going to classify the new data object. Okay, it belongs based on its feature. You need to tell, you should identify this is belong to which group. After identification, you should add this data point to that particular group. Okay, this is the actually classification of a single data object. Classification of a single data object based on the given patterns. Already we have three kinds of patterns. By taking, okay, these features of these patterns and the features of new data object features, comparing those features, if it is matched to any one of these groups, then you can add this particular data item to that particular group, isn't it? Okay, these are the different patterns we have in our data set. Okay, this is about pattern classification. Need to identify the given, okay, new data set is new data is coming under the which pattern. You need to classify that. So here also based on the patterns, whichever we have. Okay, this kind of classification work is going to perform through this perceptron. Okay, which kind of work this perceptron is going to do here? It is going to identify the multiple number of patterns and also the new data items are belonging to the which pattern here. Right? That is the task of the perceptron. Right? I mean, by identifying these are all called the algorithms. Okay, identification of data points is coming under the learning of the patterns from the given data. After learning given data, again you need to construct that some algorithm by analysis of this given data. On that particular algorithm, you are going to apply this new data item. Okay, that algorithm would give the result, isn't it? This is the learning thing. Particular neural network is completely about it's a collection of learning algorithms. Learning algorithm means, okay, based on the given data set, okay, it may learn something. After learning, okay, it is going to divide total data into the three groups or three patterns. After this, based on this, it's going to construct a model or method. Okay, whenever the new data item is arrived on that particular method, it is going to test this particular new data item, isn't it? Okay, this kind of things are going to done in the perceptron. I mean, this kind of things are going in this particular neural network concept. And also this is the job of a perceptron. Okay, now the perceptron is going to classify the data, right? What is the perceptron job here? It is going to identify the data based on given patterns. okay, based on the patterns, isn't it? Now here we are going to see the other points related to the perceptron as a pattern classifier are, the first point is the perceptron is simply separating the input into two categories. Okay, but it is going to, it's doing, it is simply separating the input into two categories. What are those two categories? First one, those that cause to fire, those that do not cause to fire. Okay, the input may be fired or not fired. What is the meaning of fire? If it is activated, if it is activated to perform some action, then that is called fire. If x1 is fired, means the x1 value is 1. I mean, it is activated at that situation at that time. The x2 is not fired, which means the x2 value will be 0. Right? If you can say, now you want to say x2 is fired, automatically the value of the x2 is 1. If the x1 is not fired, means you can represent that x1 value with 0. Okay. So fired or not fired means that particular input node is activated or not. If it is activated, then it can be represented with that 1. If it is not activated, you can represent with that particular node is by using 0 here. Okay. So for this, here we are having some one formula here. What is this? X1 into W1 plus X2 into W2 is less than T. Here we have some one formula here. What is this? X1 into W1 plus X2 into W2 less than T. What is the meaning of this one? Each and every input signal basically have some weights. Okay, W1, X1, W1 for X2, there is a weight W2, isn't it? So these are the values. Whenever you want to get this particular summation of this function, okay, already you know the formula of sigma xi into wi, isn't it? Sigma xi into this is the summation function at this point, right? I equal to n for 1 to n. So this is the formula here. So what is what we are going to know about this one? If x1 into w1 plus x2 into w2 is less than or equal to t. First of all, what is t here? Okay, we know that x1 and w1, x2 and w2. Now, what is t here? Actually, t is a target output. What is T here? T is a target output. So when we will get this target output, the target output is also called as a expected output. What is the target output? The target output is also called as some expected output. Okay, after a threshold function. Assume that suppose it is y. Already you know that y equal to f of yn. What is yn here? This is yn. This formula is yn. Yn equal to this one. Okay. So now y, what is y out? Y out equal to f of yn. Isn't it? Already you know this one also. F of yn equal is called the actual output. What is y here? The y is a actual output. Here, what is Y here? Y is actual output. What is about to T? T is target output, which means the expected output by a customer or by a user. Okay, maybe the actual output and expected output would be the same. So there is no problem. There is no issues at that time. If the actual output and the expected output both are different, then okay, that is the problem. How to solve those are these kind of situations, how to going to handle this kind of situations we have seen in earlier sessions itself, isn't it? Now we are going to know about T. T is a actually it's a target output or expected output by a user, right? So now if suppose assume the target output value equal to, which means T equal to 0.5, the target output value is 0.5. Okay, then okay, the left side of the target value is the left side, the total of this particular formula is less than the target value, then the particular inputs are not fired. Then the particular inputs are not fired. If suppose it is greater than the target value, then the inputs are fired. What is the meaning of this? For example, okay, for example, okay, assume now x1 is fired. X1 is fired. Fired in the sense x1 value is 1, right? 1. Initially, assume W1 value is 1 and also W2 value is also 1. Okay, initially assume the W1 value and the W2 values both are same. If x1 is fired, which means activated, then what is the value of x1 into W1? 1 into 1, obviously it 1. Okay, next plus if x2 is not fired, then 0 into W2 value is 0. 1 plus 0 equal to, what is the value? 1. So 1 is less than 0, less than T? No, it's greater than T. Then this is the situation of the network is fired. This is one condition. Okay, coming to the second condition, x1 is not fired, which means the value is 0. X1 is not fired, the value is 0. 0 into 1, 0, x1 into W1 in the sense 0 into 1 automatically 0. 0 plus x2 is fired here, which means x2 value is 1. 1 into W2 value is also 1, right? 1 into 1 is 1. So automatically the output is 1, right? This is the second situation. In first situation, x1 fired, x2 not fired. In second situation, x2 fired, x1 is not fired and x2 is fired. So both have the values of 1, 1. So 1 is greater than the 0.5. This is the expected outcome. We are expecting this one. Okay, this is the expected outcome. These two values are greater than 0.5. So the situation is called the inputs are fired. Okay, going to take the third condition. What is the third condition? If x1 is fired and even x2 also fired. So 1 into 1, 1 plus 1 into 1, 1. Right? So automatically what is the output here? 1. This is the third situation. This one is also greater than 0.5. Okay, take the fourth condition. Fourth condition is both x1 is not fired and also x1 is not fired, and also x2 is also not fired. So 0, 0. 0 into, I mean x1 0 into w1 0, 0 into 1 0, and x2 value is 0 into w1 value is 1. 0 into 1 means 0 itself. Now this is 0. So what is the output? 0 plus 0 will get the 0. So this 0 is, now this 0 is less than t, 0.5. So in this situation, we may say that the inputs are not fired, does not fired. These inputs are not fired. Only at this situation only. I mean, at this condition only. Here we are having two kinds of stages. I mean, here we are having 4 stages. First stage, second, third stage, the inputs are fired except the last stage, isn't it? Whenever you will get this kind of stage, you may say that the inputs are not fired, which means the x1, x2 are not taken the signals. Okay, those are in sleeping state. You may say that those are in sleeping state. Okay, in other situations, those at least one of those two inputs are fired here. Okay, now based on these inputs, here we are going to represent these values into, okay, okay, now what is the perceptron is doing here? This perceptron is doing, okay, simply drawing a line across the 2D space based on the given given inputs. Okay, it is going to take one 2D space graph, like graph format. Within that, it is going to represent the categories of data points. Now, previously, we have separated the data points now. Okay, in the same manner, here also it is going to this pattern is also by doing this kind of methods, by applying whether it is fired or not. Based on those conditions, it is going to take represent by using a small graph. How it is going to represent, we would see now. Okay. Okay, so this is the, okay, here you have taken one 2D space graph, right? You can represent x-axis with x1 input, and this is x2 output. x1 and x2, x1 and x2. What is the cases you have taken? First one is 0, 1. Okay, this is x1 point and this is x2. Okay, here each and every point here we have two values. One is x1, second one is x2, same. So now, okay, now you can take x1 is 0, represent x1 is 1. x1 is 0 and this is 0 point. What is the x2 point? x2 point, assume 1. This is the point. Okay. Now what is the second one? x1 is 1, x1 is 1, x2 is 0, right? This is the, assume this is the point. What is the third one? 1, 1. x1 is 1, x2 is 1. Assume this is the third point. And what is the fourth point? Fourth point is also 0, 0. So these are the 4 points we have represented in this graph. How you are going to draw a line? What is your target value? Your target or expected value is 0.5. Now divide this graph by using this target this target value. So these are the data points you have now in your graph. So this is 1, this is 1, this is 0. Okay, assume these are the 1. It may be you may take it is a 2 or it is something 2. Okay, like this, right? These are the data points we have taken through the, okay, these are the data points. By calculating within these data points, now you are going to separate your graph. So what is that? What is the graph? How you are going to separate that graph? By using your target value. What is the target value? That is 0.5. Maybe 0.5 is this. So you can draw a line this. So now these are the, by using this line, you can divide this total 2D space into two parts. Okay, this is one part, this is one part, and this small is second part. Okay, by drawing this line, you can be divided your total 2D space into two parts. This upper part is one kind of category of data, lower part of this particular line is another category of data. So above this line we have 3 data points, isn't it? Maybe, for example, under this you can have only one data point. Here you can specify, okay, this is a linear line to separate the data into two categories. I mean classification, or two patterns. You may say that two patterns. Okay, one is above this line, second one is below this line. This is also same graph here we have. Okay, above this line is one category of data points you may have, or one kind of pattern, and below this line is another kind of pattern you have. Okay, this is above. Okay, this is the, okay, this is the place and this is the upper one. This is the actual separation of the data points by using a perceptron concept. By using this perceptron concept. In this perceptron concept, first of all, what we have to do? Okay, we can check whether the particular inputs are fired or not fired. If those are fired, by using by calculating one formula, by checking one formula, we can tell if it is fired. The values, I mean the values, whatever the values you have used, those values are less than the 0.5 target value, then those are not in fire state. If those are the greater than the 0.5, then those are in fire state, right? So here you are we are dividing the total data points based on, by drawing a linear line in between the data points. Okay, which data points come down to this particular linear line, those data points are one category, and above this line are another category. Okay, like this. In this way we are going to separate the, I mean classify the data points, isn't it? This is the this is about perceptron as a pattern classifier. Thank you.